Pleased to meet you. This is Fixed and Folded, the knife review channel for custom, no, not, well, in some custom, but for the knife review channel for casual knife collectors. My name's Cody, and let's get into this one. This is my dream layout version of the Crooked River, Benchmade Crooked River. So, yeah, I couldn't find, I wanted the tuxedo look, black with the plain blade, and I had to custom it to get it to look like this. I couldn't find an all black Benchmade G10 with the plain blade, so I had to do some blue custom or G10 in the custom shop to get the plain blade, and then I had to do aftermarket handle scales. So I ended up going with the S90V. S30V is also great, so I went with S90V and Dragonfly scales. They have a large variety of materials and textures for Crooked Rivers and a few other models. I went with the fine texture G10 and the black pivot ring and backspacer from Dragonfly scales, and it was a little bit abrasive when I first got it, so I lightly sanded it just with some 220 grit sandpaper. Just light, and now it's super comfortable, and it's grippy enough that I can get a purchase on it, close it one-handed, putting my fingers on the clip to you know, secure the hand when I'm flicking it open, closing it. But it's not going to be abrasive in the pocket. Okay, so what do I like about the knife? Well, the design is terrific. You know, it's just got a cool, kind of old school hunter knife look, kind of like a buck hunter knife style. Really big knife. Good for, you know, you got to have large hands or bigger if you're going to be, you know, wielding this knife, because it's, I call it an extra large knife. Yeah, really comfortable. Ergonomics are terrific for comfort. This can slice and pierce. It's reasonably durable, reasonably thick. You know, can do everything you need a knife to do, to use for knife things. I like that there's a little bit of texture on here so that it's not too slippy if I'm going to be one hand opening and closing it. Did come with the Benchmade butterfly pocket clip, which is one of my preferred clips for the Benchmade. I also really like the bug out style clip that comes with. Fit and finish has been mostly good. I've handled a few Crooked Rivers, and both of them have had a slightly warped blade, including this one. It's not that it's off center and it can be fixed from adjusting the pivots. It's actually the blade itself has a slight warp to it to one side. Does not rub against the frame, so I'm not going to be, you know, too nitpicky about it. I'm very happy with this knife. But you can see here, the centering is a little bit off. It's a little bit off to this side. So for everybody with a little bit more autism than me, you might not love this, but again, it doesn't rub against the frame and perfectly functional, just not 100% centered, and I can't really fix that because the blade itself is slightly warped. Otherwise, it's fantastic. The action, really smooth. Lockup is solid. There's no blade play left or right, front and back. The axis lock feels very secure. The spring is a little on the heavier side. I think it's the same spring tension as the Benchmade Adamas, which is another extra large tank size knife. I actually have the Adamas here, so I'll show you in a minute when I do size comparisons. Width is a little narrow for a blade this huge. Really good for pocket carry. Surprisingly good for yeah, not being annoying riding in the pocket, at least my pockets. So I'll show you here. I've got, what is this? The 511 strike pant, which I absolutely love. Comes with front pockets that I use just to carry my knives in, 5.5 inches deep. And this is a 5.5 inch handle, so fits just in there. And it does not protrude when you drop it in without the clip. If you are going to use the clip, not a full deep carry, but pretty close. You can see a little bit protrudes out, but yeah. So it fits securely in there, doesn't poke out, and yeah, I can sit in a chair, and this does not poke into my hips, unlike I don't know, something like this guy, the other amazing, excellent knife, the full-size Recon. This one has a clip point. This guy I'll do a separate review of, but when you do put it in the pocket, again, it 5.5 inch handle, doesn't poke out, but when I sit here, just because it's extra thick, and it does poke a little bit into the hip. So if you got 511 strike pants and you're planning on doing a lot of sitting, may not be the best EDC knife for you. But Crooked River is quite comfortable. Yeah, so this was expensive. Doing the first purchase was $400 Canadian to get the plain S90V blade, and then it had some blue Benchmade custom G10 handles, which I didn't like how smooth they were, not for hand comfort, but for one-hand deployment and closing of these. Because the handle's so long, I have to use my palm here and fingers, and it was so slippy, really comfortable, but so slippy that, yeah, it didn't feel like a top choice. And also I wanted the all black, so I went with this, and super duper happy with this. This was about $160 after shipping for the handles, the Dragonfly handle scales, and the matching pivot ring and spacer. Some really excellent color options for the pivot ring and spacer, and materials and textures from Dragonfly scales. But yeah, I love this knife. It's a dream, like a grail knife for me, so very pleased with that. And if you have any comments about your experiences with the Crooked Rivers, I'd love to hear about it. And let's see, let's do some size comparisons. Just always use the Benchmade bug out as the standard for a medium-sized knife. My fingers are 3.5 inches width going here and 4 inches at the palm. I have an extra large size hand, and I can get all 4 fingers around this. So this is like the, basic, you don't want to go any smaller than this knife for an EDC knife for me. So you got your bug out there. This is going to be near the top. This thing's huge. Let's see, we'll go with the full size CJRB Riff. I'm going to do a separate review on this guy. Fantastic knife. This is the size of your Griptilian or your Benchmade Freak or your Benchmade, what's the other guy I've got here? I love this guy, the Benchmade. Oh, come on, have a name on here. What is this guy? Benchmade Readout. Sorry for taking so long. I'll also do a separate review on my custom Benchmade Readout. But yeah, as you can see, Riff is the same size as the Readout Freak, and a little smaller as the Griptilian. But okay, I got the Freak here too. You can see same size there, and your Spyderco PM2. You can see. Do I have anything as big as this? Yeah, I do. Let's see here. I've got the Cold Steel Recon. This one's in a clip point. I'll do a separate review on this guy a little bit later. So, same dimensions lengthwise. This guy is wider, and this is surprisingly comfortable for EDC carry. This guy not so much, but this is just a terrific knife anyway. Yeah, let's see. we're going to do the Benchmade Adamas comparison too. So overall length on this is a little bit longer blade than the Adamas. Handle, the Adamas is a little more tanky, a little thicker. Probably not as great in the pocket. I'm going to do a separate review on this. Of course, the design on this is just gorgeous, and it's a desirable knife in its own right. So there you go. There's a review of my custom Benchmade Crooked River Dragonfly scales. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you later.